Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Merry Christmas to everybody, happy Boxing Day. I hope you're well, I hope you all also had an amazing day with your friends and family, and you're probably at this point right up, probably just about here, full of tryptophan, kind of tripping on that light fandango and all of the turkey that we've had. So it's probably a good time to kick back and do what you do every Sunday at this time, and that is look at my beautiful face. Now, just kidding. So I hope you all had a very nice day, whether you celebrate Christmas. I know that there are other religious festivals around this year. I hope whoever you is watching, wherever you are in the world, that you are having a great day and had a great day, or you have been having a great time with your friends and relatives. But we're not here to talk about that today. We are here to talk about the Victorinox Farmer. Now, as far as Victorinox knives are concerned, my favourite's always been the Pioneer, and I think it's just because it's got the perfect balance for just a general EDC kind of use. But with Victorinox, I always see that the Pioneer really is the gold standard, and then you can change one of the tools on there. You get the electrician, you can change another tool on there, or add a tool. You can get the Pioneer X, or you can add another tool, and this is where the Farmer comes in, which just takes it to more of an outdoorsy style knife. The Pioneer does a very good job of, you know, hitting so many points for outdoor lifestyle, whereas with the Farmer, with the additional tool on here, which we'll have a look at in a second, you know, it really just does kind of build on the staple that is the Pioneer. In fact, one of my most popular videos is the Pioneer. I'll leave a link to that here, whichever side that it goes on. But for now, as I usually do, I'll turn the camera around. We'll take a closer look at this. While I'm doing that, if at any point you do enjoy this video, please feel free to hit the like. Don't forget to subscribe and bell notifications, all that kind of jazz. But for now, let's turn the camera around, take a closer look at the Farmer. So as we usually do, we'll get into some measurements, some materials, and then we'll have a look at the actual features. Now, I'm just going to spin this round so that you can see it. Have this really nice kind of this ALOX material. There you go. I mean, as far as Victorinox knives are concerned, you may have noticed that a lot of the knives that I review generally tend to be the ALOX versions of them. The main reason for that is, and I know I'm kind of going off on one when I said we'll look at measurements, is in fact, correct me if I'm wrong. I'd love to hear it down in the comments, just in case there are some that do buck this trend. But with the ALOX versions of the knives, all of the tools open all from one side. So on the back here, you'll be able to see that it's completely flush. This is where all of the tension springs are for all of the tools that are on this side. For me, I just prefer it. I just think it's got a nicer feel. I like to know that the tools are on this side. There's less wondering where each of the tools are. Although I think once you've had a Victorinox and you've got used to where the tools are, if you're just using one, it's not particularly difficult to find those. But I like the aesthetic of the ALOX versions as well. Oh, I just grabbed my ruler was out of reach. Now I'll put the ruler there just for this so that you've got this in inches, but I'll read it out in millimeters. It comes in at 93 millimeters in length. The depth is about 14.5 millimeters, and the width at its longest is 24 millimeters. So it's not a particularly large tool. I think especially when you compare it to some other tools out there, Leathermans, that sort of stuff, the features that are on here are definitely going to be less. It doesn't have something like a heavy duty plier on here, but for something that you can easily slip into your pocket, they are really nice to be able to just have that. As far as the materials are concerned, I've already mentioned, you know, this is the Alox version. The reason that it's called the Alox version, instead of having the red cherry scales that the normal Victorinoxes have, although I know that there are quite a few different versions that have got some, you know, crazy colours on them. This version has an aluminium oxide, which is where the Alox comes from. It's an aluminium oxide scale, so the scales are on both sides, and with the other versions you tend to find, because they want to keep the aesthetic with the red all the way through, they are pressed and then slotted on, whereas these use the pins that are actually in place to be able to for the pivots. So there are the two pivot joints, and then this pin here is the pin that keeps all of these tension springs in place here at the back. As far as the blades are concerned, these are, let me just pull out the main blade. These are all made from Victorinox's stainless steel. On here, this is the main blade, but hopefully you can see, if I can get this just in the right light, it says Victorinox Swiss made stainless steel. So let's go through the actual tools themselves, and I might as well open this main one back out again. So here we have the blade. It is a nice flat grind. As far as the length of the cutting edge is concerned, here in the UK it's important that it's the distance that goes across here and then round the belly to the tip. So rather than from the ricasso to the point, which would be 63 millimeters, it's actually measured like that, which that's the same. It is just past that, if you can see there. Let me drop that down again. So as far as whether this is UK legal or it is friendly to the UK knife laws, it is under 76.3 millimeters. So this is definitely one that you can carry here in the UK, and it's also a slip joint, so you're definitely not going to have any worries, especially with people worrying about whether or not it locks. The way that these work is, you can see the tension spring there at the back. So this piece of metal bends so that when it pulls out, it's almost like a cam there. You do find with these knives that there is a very fierce spring back. I've probably been bitten by more Victorinox knives than I've been bitten by any other knife, so it's definitely one to be careful of. Here in the UK, if you pull out a Swiss Army knife, most people go, well, it's a Swiss Army knife. They are possibly the least offensive looking knives that you could tend to use. Again, I'm sure probably around the world everybody knows what a Swiss Army knife looks like. So that is the main knife. Well, actually on this one there is only just one knife, and then on this side, hopefully you'll be able to see that there is a large flat screwdriver there on the end, and then we have a bottle opener, and then there is this little indent here. Now, not a lot of people know what this is, but that small indent is a wire cutter. So the way that works is, you lift up the main knife, you push the wire into there, and then just the strength of the spring itself pushing down against the wire that's in, you can turn the wire around and it will be able to strip that wire for you. On the opposite side we have a can opener, and then there is also a smaller screwdriver here on the end as well. On the flip side we then have an awl. Now, I was talking to somebody in the comments the other day and they made a very good point on this, and it's a shame that they don't do this, but if they were to punch a small hole into this, you could also use it to be able to thread wire or twine, that sort of stuff, through things, that maybe with leather working. But this is an awl is designed to cut holes into wood. So you push this in and you just keep turning, and then what it will do is it will eventually with very little effort actually. It is very good at doing this. So if you need to be able to cut holes into things quite quickly, the awl is a really useful tool to be able to do that. I'm not going to say I use this a lot though. This is possibly the least used tool that there is on this knife. And the last one, now this last one is the main difference that changes this from the Alox Pioneer, because at this point all of the tools that we've seen are all on the Pioneer. The difference with the Farmer is that there is additional tool here. Now all of the tools have really nice large recessed thumb nicks so that you can get them out. This one doesn't have a thumb nick. Instead, if we can line this up, you'll be able to see that here there is a piece of metal in between these two spaces. So to get this, you just lift your thumbnail underneath the front of the saw, and we pull it out. And as far as the length of this saw is concerned in millimeters, you have a 6.5 centimeter or a 65 millimeter saw. I've just dropped my piece of wood on the floor. And no, I mean, it's hard to do it like this, but I'm going to say something really stupid now, but the teeth on here are super aggressive, which, as far as teeth on saws is concerned, it's the main thing that I look for, and that is aggressive teeth. But if you need to be able to get through something with this, now I'm not talking about a 2x4, it would probably take you some time to, well actually with the dimensions of this you could probably saw through a 2x4. It would definitely take a long time. Trees, thin trees, leaves, thin branches on trees, that sort of stuff. If you're doing any sort of coppicing, then you should be able to do this with ease with this as well. Making bushcraft tools, all of that sort of stuff, you can definitely do with ease with this small saw, and then it just folds back in. Now, the way when it folds back in, so that little piece of metal that it protrudes over is milled into that. So the end here, hopefully if you can see, there is a blunt part here at the end. So that sits against that. The teeth are actually floating inside the body here, so that the teeth never make contact with the internal fixtures of the knife itself. It's always constantly floating, and the spacer here ensures that when it clips down, it doesn't touch anything on the inside, to make sure that you can keep those teeth as sharp as possible. Now the last tool on here, I think Victorinox, yeah, you're kind of pushing it as far as tools are concerned, but there is a small lanyard loop here on the end. I know a lot of people complain, well, complain, is that the right word? But when it's in your hand, that can be a little bit of a hot spot. So I mean, if you're that way inclined, you can take this off, take a Dremel, and you can certainly take that off and easily contour that to the rear end of the knife there. But other than that, it's a very simple and elegant kind of pocket tool knife combination. And I think the Farmer definitely does a great job of bridging the gap between that suits everything Pioneer EDC knife tool, and it takes the jump over to the next step, so that if you're doing more outdoorsy style stuff, I think this is possibly a little bit better suited for things like bushcraft. And as the name implies, if you're a farmer, I think this would be a great tool. I think from when this was designed to nowadays, more of a multi-tool style Leatherman tool is probably more suited for a farmer nowadays. However, I can definitely see that this would be a great secondary, always on you kind of knife style tool. And it's great. I quite like it. I say quite like it. I like it a lot. It's a good tool. So there you go. It's a good tool. That was a strange line to finish on, wasn't it? I'll leave, it's YouTube, there's always going to be some affiliate links. In fact, I think this is, at the time of posting, I think on Amazon here in the UK this has dropped down to about £23, so it's quite a good time to pick up a farmer if you were thinking of picking up a farmer. Again, that sounded really strange. If you want to pick up a farmer, definitely don't pick up a farmer, pick up a Victorinox Farmer. Yeah, I hope you're all still enjoying this and you're still paying attention, but you know, maybe I've had a little bit too much turkey at this point. So there'll be some links in the description below. They may be affiliate, probably will be affiliate links. It just gives a small kickback to my channel so I can continue to make content like this. I'll leave some of my social media links below as well. You know, it's YouTube, we always have to do this bit as well, but don't forget to like, share, subscribe and share. That would be absolutely amazing. I will see you in the new year. I might skip Wednesday's content, if that's okay with you guys. Get to spend some time with the family, just kick back. Yes, but for now, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC.